Hey everybody, I'm back at the easel, and today I'm excited because we are going to go fishing. On a board here I have, it's very sanded, very nice, smooth. I got this at Hobby Lobby, and we're going to put a painting on here. We'll see how it goes. But before I start anything, I want to seal it, and I have a sealer that will, it seals the wood and it helps just to kind of paint on it. And it's by DecoArt. It's a multi-purpose sealer. So I'm going to put that out on my palette and we're going to seal this piece of wood. That's how we're going to start with this. So no mixing. I have like a sponge applicator that we're going to use. I hope y'all have been good. I know I haven't been. I've been suffering a lot with different things. I think since I started this new job, my nerves are a little shot, and because I've been working so much and I'm just a wreck. So trying to do the right thing. I didn't realize how hard it is to cut men's hair. It's so different from women. You just can't believe. So say a little prayer for me or keep me in your thoughts. I'd appreciate it. It's been a rough couple of weeks. So, anyways, I'm off today, taking care of grandkids. You know, I get them on the bus, do those kinds of things. And since I was back here, so much has gone on. My daughter wrote a book. It's called Summer Vacation. And I did the illustrations for it. That's one of the things that kept me away from YouTube for a while too. Not only my wrist, but that as well. So you see how I'm applying this? I'm going with the grain. That's what I want, you know, just to go with the grain, just to seal it all up. Make sure you get all those little nooks and crannies. But this will help. Actually, what it'll do is like keep the paint from seeping through to the wood, because if it does that, then we're wasting a lot of paint, and we don't want to do that. So, let me see here. We're doing pretty good. Yeah, so I got this up at Hobby Lobby. It was, I had a 40% off coupon. Got to use it on this. It's not that expensive. I think it was only, oh, I don't have any. I think it was, let's see. I think it does tell you here how much. Yeah, it was $18. And it's pretty solid. I mean, it's a nice piece of wood. So, how have y'all been? Hopefully my buddies on here are doing well, keeping warm. It got drastically cold here, so just trying to keep warm. Stay out of trouble. My passion. Now, you noticed I've been working with the Take 5 art also, just for kicks. It's been fun. I do every month something that they bring out. It's like 12 people in this little thing, but other people can follow, and usually it gets put on their playlist. I don't know if I got put on the playlist this month. It seems that Kira must be busy. She's the one who actually started this little venture, and it's been pretty fun because I've never done journaling before, and it just seems to be the right thing to do at this point. Just something creative. Okay, so we're going to let this dry, and then we'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. I have this dry. Now the next thing I'm going to do is put some chalky gesso on this. I just want to kind of give it a little texture. And I am using the Beige by DecoArt. And I love this. It's so nice. So I'm going to use that applicator that I had before. I just had some shaking on this, so it should be mixed pretty well. And we're just going to go with the grain again. Now, if you want, you don't have to put this on the entire piece. You can let some of that wood show through, which I think I want to do, because I think that makes it kind of like interesting, an interesting piece here. So we're just going to gesso it up. I'm leaving some of the wood show there. I like this because it is pretty opaque. It still kind of shows some of that wood coming through, and I like that look. It just kind of gives you an interesting backdrop. Instead of having the white, the chalky white color, we have this beige. Okay, so we got that. It sort of looks whitewashed, doesn't it? It kind of is neat. Neat how this is. Okay, so I want to make sure I don't have those lines in there, so I'm just going to go over it a little lighter. This would be a great gift for the holidays. To the man in your life that might go fishing. Might be your dad, might be your significant other. It's just a great little painting for that kind of thing. So now I'm going to add some burnt umber. I have like this Winsor Newton. And once this is dry, which it dries pretty quickly, we'll just brush some of that on there. So I'm putting just straight burnt umber on my palette. And I'm going to get a large brush, and we're going to dry brush this on. I'm going to use this old one here. It's a pretty big one here. It's a 16 flat, but it came apart, so it's something that I can use to just dry brush on. Now, when you dry brush, we've gone over that. We just get most of that paint out of there, and we're just going to kind of go lightly on here. Now, you could use a rake brush or whatever you like. I mean, a rake brush would be great to get those lines on, but I kind of just like the bigger brush with just a dry brush look. Just go the same grain as the wood. You can put it down heavier in places. If you're dry brushing, let the brush do it for you. Just a little bit of paint on the edge will work just fine. And you just lightly make those lines. See how cool that is? That really does have a, plus that gessoed background kind of just gives it the oomph without even having to paint it. You know, it just paint that gesso on there. Okay. Now that gives like a weathered look. Very nice. Okay, I'm going to rinse my brush out. I'm not going to leave it in my water because I don't want it to get ruined. So I'm just going to rinse it out and have it ready for what I need to do next. Okay, so now what I want to do, I'm going to get the pattern and put it on here. So we'll be back in a second. Okay, I can't do no more. All right, so what I have done, I have gessoed back in my fish because we want a solid background here. And I cut out all the letters that are needed in this painting because the way that this board is kind of up and down. So I started to trace on the letters. Now, you will get this in the tracing on Patreon, which costs $1. So you can check out my Patreon link. I have it on at the bottom here in the information section in order to get this stencil that I made. So I cut out each of these letters. What I'm going to do is just trace each of the letters along with a piece of graphite. So I cut out a piece of graphite, and each one will fit right under. It'll fit underneath each of these, and I'm just going to trace these on with my stylus. So we're going to do that, and then I will be back. All right, so we have that all done, and they are traced in, and now we can begin painting. So what we're going to do, we are going to fill this in with like a little painting, and it's going to be kind of like a sunset painting. I think it's going to really be cute. So that will be our next step, and we can get going. And we're going to start out with some yellow and some titanium white. Titanium white will help to make that color more solid because yellow is more transparent. So we want to give it a little bit more of a glow. So let me adjust my easel here. Apparently, I guess when I was doing all that, it kind of set it a little funny. Let's see. I think we're good. Okay. Maybe just like that. Yeah, that's good. Okay, we'll get started. All right, so I'm going to get some of my yellow, which is it's a cad yellow medium. I'm going to put this out on my palette. Ooh, just about out of that. And I'm going to get some white. Now this is a liquid acrylic by Master's Touch. I got this up at Hobby Lobby. Putting that out on the palette. And I am going to mix, I'm going to use this brush. It's a number 10 Studio 7. I think I got this up at Packtan's before they closed. And I'm going to mix my yellow. I'm going to mix, I'm going to pull some of this out. You can see. And a little bit more of that. Okay, so we're just going to mix it like this. Want it kind of deep looking. Okay, can you see that? I hope you can see that. Well, my palette, I think I need a new one. Okay, so we're going to put this along the horizon here, right like in here. So, along that line right there. If you go below, that's fine. So we're going to take this across the whole fish just about. Get it nice, smooth. There we go. And we're going to blend some orange. So I've got this, oh wow, I can't even, I think this is Azo Orange. It was Amsterdam shade. I'm going to put that out on my palette too. We're just going to mix a little bit of that into this also, just kind of blending it together while it's still wet. I didn't rinse off my brush or anything. Just kind of blending it out. It blends so nice into that yellow. Blending it out while it's still wet. And then we're going to mix some red with this. Let me see. I know I had that red out with me. Deep red. Well, it's missing. It is missing on my table. So let me go find that. I'll be right back. Okay, I had it on my table. It's just a little different. It's in a jar, and this is Basics. So I'm going to get a little bit of that. Just a little bit. Oh, wow, that's like got a little messed up here. Looks like the lid fell in here. Okay, well, this may not be any good anymore. Looks like it got kind of hard. Okay, we're just going to have to throw this out. Oh, that's too bad. Okay, hold on one second. I got to get some red. All right, so instead I just got some Naphthol Crimson in Basics. You can see, putting that out on my palette as well. And we're going to use that. And we're not going to mix this with anything. You can mix a little orange with it if you like. Maybe we'll try that just to kind of have that little bit of a change over here. Make sure we don't get it onto that. Let's see here. Before it soaks in, I'm going to wipe that off. There we go. Just being careful, kind of careful with this. Get some of the orange now. Kind of just blend these two nicely together. It goes all the way to the end there, making sure it just blends in very nicely, and just kind of like blending the orange down. And we're going to get some of that yellow back in there. I'll rinse out my brush. I don't want that red. I want that yellow in there. Yellow, blending it up. Okay, so there we have that. Top part of the fish, very nice. So the next thing we're going to do is to use some of the deep red and a little bit of Mars Black, and we're going to go on top here. So let me get my Mars Black. Looks like I'm not very prepared today. And this is a Galleria Winsor Newton. I've used this in the past. I'm just putting some of that out there on my palette. We're going to mix some. Make sort of like a nice deep red shade. Kind of like a nice deep red. You can see that. Almost, there must be a lot of purple in this black. Kind of interesting. And we are going to paint this fin, the top part of this fin. Kind of like just dry brushing it in. I may need a smaller brush in order to do this because this one's a little too big for me. So you'll have to change your brushes when you need to. Now this is a number 14 and this is a bright Master's Touch. Some more of that black on my, because I want to get around here in these little areas here. And we're just kind of like feathering it in to the other colors, the other shades, making it like a fin. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, I'm going to grab a little bit of a round brush here. This is a Social Artworking number 2. Just to get some, I'm going to get a little bit of mist into this because I don't want that dryness to be around the edges. So we're just going to closely make a nice, neat area here. Bringing it in. And we're going to let that dry a little bit and then we're going to go over it because it's kind of see-through. We're going to get this one now. Okay. It's a little fin here. Just, you know, move your brush like zigzaggedy back and forth. This will be a little less, it's going to be more of a, instead of feathering it in, it's going to be more exact. Okay. Look at how nice that looks so far. Okay, now this one here, up here, we are definitely going to make that like raggedy on the edge, and it's going to be also clean. The only part you're going to feather is that part there, the edge of the fin there. Had to have a sip of coffee. So I'm going to change my brush here. And I'm going to probably bring some red up into this area here too. So you're going to make, you're going to squiggle your brush a little bit. And as you can see, I'm kind of drawing this in. I'm not holding my brush back too far. And this is also clean. The only part that was really feathered in was that fin there. Very clean, very clean. Isn't that nice? Very nice. Love it. All right, so I am going to rinse out my brush and I'm going to grab that red and just put it around the edge there, that orange red. And just get it real close to the edge here. Right there. Okay. Now I want to clean off that little bit that I got past the actual nose here of the fish. Okay. And I'm going to clean this here up, make a nice straight line. Make it a little darker through here. Okay. All right, let's put that back in there. And I'm going to go over this one here because I kind of went a little too much in here. Okay. Make sure you get all those little crevices too. Just dry brushing it right into that body of the fish. Just going to the horizon line. Okay. Gets a little tricky at times here, but just go over it. Okay. A little bit here. Because we're working on wood, so it's going to be a little bit rough. It's going to be like a rough canvas. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some clouds in here. And we want that kind of being deep. So that orange mixture that I made right here, this one right here, and we're just going to get a little bit of Mars Black, just a touch, so that we can make some clouds. And we want these to be dry brushed, so I'm going to wipe a little bit of this off. We're going to just kind of put some clouds right in here. All right, like that. All right, so we got this nice, we're going to paint some water in through here now. So I've got my yellow, my number 2. I'm going to get that yellow that we mixed with the white. And right in through here, we're going to add some water. Just and feather it out. Just feather it out. With that chalky gesso, it helps to grab it also. Kind of interesting that that works like that. Now we're going to mix some orange and deep red and a little bit of Morris black, and we're going to paint the bottom part here. I think what I want to do is just use the same brush here. We're going to get some chrome orange in here. But it's just going to be kind of like a reflection of everything. So I'm still going to use that round brush and just kind of mirror this a little bit. Kind of just mirror it in. Same effects here. Just kind of using the orange. I'm going to bring some of that over this. Just kind of getting it to mirror. And get some more of that red and mix a little of the orange in there. And let's see, we're just going to get some of that in here. Just like this. Leaving the fins painted for now. We're going to blend all this. And I think I'm going to get my larger brush here because we need to make this look a little bit more blended, interesting looking. Right now, kind of doesn't look that interesting. So maybe we need to kind of come down here. Like that. Making sure that those fins are not getting painted. We don't want to paint the fins because we have to make them like that. Okay, get some orange. Gotta mix it in there. Just kind of mixing it together. I want to get more of that yellow in here too, or a mixture of yellow. A little bit more yellow. Okay, so I'm going to rinse out my brush. Get my yellow mixture. Go back in here because we want that to be like that. Kind of just blending it in and over, and then just kind of bringing this down in so it blends. We want it to blend nicely. And that's okay if it turns out a little orange because those colors are all in this color scheme. Now that looks a little better, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm going to probably put another coat of yellow in through here. Alright, so we're going to do the fins now. Same mixture that we used before, which was the red and Mars Black. Probably adding another coat to this because we want to make sure it's covered well. I think we need a little more black in there. More black. Just brush it through and make it come forward into the fish. Probably add another coat like I said. Now this one here, we're gonna squiggle it a little bit down here. So just squiggle it a little bit, making it like airy, feathered looking. This is gonna be straight across, nothing feathered. Just bring it on down. This is a pretty easy painting. It's not something that I think everyone could do this. Okay. Okay, a little swig of coffee now. I'm going to rinse out my brush again. I want to get more yellow in here. More yellow. Although I do like the way that feathered in there, but I do want this brighter here. See, it just kind of feathers out. Lightly go through that. We'll get some orange. Kind of just want these colors to be very bright. And it kind of just goes up into the sky and into the water here. More of this. Okay. Make it straight. You want this definitely to be straight. It's okay if it goes into that nose area, because it still radiates down into the water. And this is like water that we're doing here in this scene. Okay, so I'm going to get my little round brush now and go back into that black mixture of red and black. And we're going to do this now. Being very careful not to go out of the lines. You know, if you go out of the lines, it's okay, but you just have to compensate in the other areas. I might actually use a smaller brush instead of the round, a little bit more stability. Let's see. Something that's a little more stable. That might not work though. This is a bright. Well, let's try it. It's a bright. It's a number 4 bright. Okay. Let's get this in here. I think this will give me a little bit more control, which I need here. And I'll push it right into the wooden panel here. Push that paint in there. Okay. And we'll get this one. Oops, I think my easel moved a bit. I'm going to cover that up again so it's covered nice. This is a little sharper here. And we can also go over that again. I just want to let it dry a little bit. And you know, acrylics, they dry so fast, so you know, it takes no time. Okay, with some red, I'm going to just go right into that, right close to the fins. Well, that's not getting clean, so let's see. Need another paper towel. Oops. And I don't think I have any paintbrushes here. I put everything back. So I'm going to go with this one here. This is a Simply Simmons number 2. Because I want to get really close here. Almost like an outline. Right in through here. This is just pure red. Pure red. Coming in. Just pure red. There we go. All right, so we got all the background in. Now we're going to mix some orange, deep red, and black to get some bushes. Like, we're going to put some bushes in here. It's just going to look like a scene of different bushes and things. So we're going to get this mixture. I want to mix like 2 parts of the orange, 2 parts of the red, mix that, and and some 2 parts black. This is going to be like a orangish blackish color, like a reflection. So you're going to get like a muddy kind of orange red. And I just mixed that up with my little number 4 here, number 2. All right. So what we're going to do now is we are going to make some strokes that come underneath here. Actually, I'm going to outline that with some of this color here. I want to do that with a decent brush here. So I'm going to use this number 4 bright. But I'm going to outline it with the red and black. I'm just going to take it from the just kind of outlining it. Okay, kind of just feathering it in a little bit too. Feather it into the right along here we're going to have some trees. So let's see here now. I'm going to get some of this up in here. Ooh. Get some more of that paint. I'm using it. Very dry. My studio is very dry today. And we're going to come in here with some of that also. Just bring it in. Same here. Kind of tighten it up here. Okay. Get a little red to just kind of blend that in a little bit so it's not such a harsh line. Through here. Get some orange. You're going to be working with this quite a bit. I mean, just trying to get it blended and things. So, I'll just go with the red again. Blend it in down here. Okay. You can always wipe off anything that goes past the lines. If you don't like it, wipe it off. Because we have that sealer on there, it's easier to do. Okay. It's looking sharp. Okay. So let me rinse this out and get some more of that orange in there. Kind of like help to blend that in a bit. Kind of just blend it in. All right, get some yellow. Yes, you do go back and forth quite a bit. Insane when you blend. Insane. But we do want this to look clean. Without too much distortion here. Okay, so what we're going to do is get that red again and just come in here along the horizon. This is going to be where some trees are. I'm going to come in here with that also. I don't know if you can hear me. If not, I will do a voice overlay. If you're having a hard time hearing me. Because I do tend to get into my work. And I'm not so bubbly as some of these girls are. I mean, I'm amazed at how bubbly some people can be. And that's a good thing. I'm just not that bubbly with my voice. Alright, let's see here now. Let me get those clouds back in there too. Kind of went up over here. Alright. So let's see here. We're going to, let's see. Okay, so I want to get some little trees in here. So I'm going to just use my red-black mixture, orange mixture. I'm going to try it with this brush. Now, the thing is with this, you definitely want to have kind of a dry brush because you'll get more of a decent, no, that's not dark enough really. Let me get some more black in that mixture. What you're doing is just tapping in the trees along that horizon. And I'm just using that bright brush, just tapping in some trees. And then just dragging them out like that. Okay, let's try the other side now. We can maybe make some bigger trees over here. Just tapping them in. You don't have to do anything that's too crazy. Just tapping them in. And add a little black to that brush. Kind of just get a little darker here because I want it to be a little darker. Just tap it out. Just kind of bring this in also. Easy stuff. You can make a tree that looks great. I'm just going to wet this a little bit. I'm having some blending issues here. Make sure your little board is covered in. Now I'm going to get some of my orange. I'm going to rinse this one out. Well, let's get another brush. Get my number 14. Get some orange. Kind of just go in with that a little bit more here. Let that go into that just a bit. Kind of make it a little less, like that it looks more natural. Okay, I think that looks pretty nice. Very nice. Okay. So our next step is we have to do our little paddles here. And they are definitely red. And we are going to use the round brush. I'm going to get more red out on the Naphtha Crimson on my palette. So we can color in these couple of things. And then we're probably just going to use like a marker, a paint marker, to fill in the letters. Ooh, we'll be almost done with this. Before I finish, I wanted to show you guys something very cool. Very cool. Very cool. So you need a round brush for this because you're going into little spaces that are needed to actually, you know, round it out and things like that. So before I go further, I want to show you something. Okay, I wanted to show you this. I had been working on this during the months that I was not on YouTube. And I guess I can be really excited about this because this is the first time I ever illustrated a book. My daughter wrote the book, and it's called Summer Vacation. And we have everything you can imagine in here. It's so cute. So I wanted to show you this. And what is going to happen with this if you purchase one of these? It's $15. Yes, it sounds like a lot. But $1 is going to go for every one that she sells. $1 is going to be donated to Alex's Lemonade Stand. This was for cancer. She decided to make this because we have a relation. It's my great nephew. It would be her second cousin who actually had leukemia. And for over a year, he had been going through treatment, and he finally had to get a bone marrow, which his dad donated to him. And we're keeping our fingers crossed that he is in remission right now. So this was dedicated to him. And another person, Ariel. So I don't know who Ariel is. I think it's a friend of my daughter's. Whose daughter is also has the leukemia. I've seen what Thatcher has gone through, and he's a tough little cookie, I'll tell you. He's a cute little boy, and we just are so happy that he is getting better, and that he is doing well. He's gone back to school. He missed a whole year of school because of his cancer and treatments. So I would hope that you would think about maybe purchasing this book. It's a great Christmas gift. It's so cute. It's a cute little story about this little boy and his summer vacation and what he did, his amazing summer vacation, which he had to talk about in school. So all these pictures in here are basically his reflection of his time in the summer. And he's just an adorable little thing. I just love his little face. And I hope you would consider. Now, if you want an autographed copy, we can send that to you. We will both autograph it for you. Just let us know. You can write to me at Pittsburgh Artist. It's PGH Artist at Outlook.com. And I'll have the link below, and you can contact me, and we'll be happy to send this to you. You can pay through PayPal, and we'll get it out to you as soon as before Christmas anyway. So let us know, and we'll be glad to sign it for you if you go through us. I believe this is on Amazon. It's being sold on Amazon. And like I said, it's called Summer Vacation, and it's by Nicole Leckenby. So give it a chance. Get it for your children if you have grandchildren, nieces, nephews, anybody that will be thrilled to pieces about this. I know I was when it came out. It just looks so cute and everything. It's adorable. So let us know. So let's get back to the painting, shall we? All right. Okay, let's get this better here. Just come down. Now, what I did is, like I think I told you at the beginning here, I cut out each of the letters to fit on here because of the up and down thing. Now if you get a plain piece of wood, it'll go right across. Now this will be actually this tracing will be on Patreon, and you can just purchase that for $1. And I will have that up on the Patreon site as soon as I make this video available on YouTube. So all the links are below in the information section. This is such a fun painting. And yes, I am concentrating once again. So I'm working on towards getting an elephant together for you guys. Hopefully the next painting that I do will be the elephant. I am planning to do it as a multicolor type painting. That's going to be a little harder to do, so I wanted to do something easy so that you wouldn't get frustrated, because that'll be a little bit of a tough one. So more advanced. I wanted to do that on a board. I don't know if I will or not, but I was thinking on doing it on a board. Okay, so I want this to be a little bit more dimensional. So I'm going to grab some of that orange black. I'm going to kind of like come in here and see if we can get that look a little bit more dimensional. So up there I have to paint that white. I want to get that white. Ooh, look at that. It's going to ooze down. Oops. A little too wet. Little too wet there. But at least it's going on a little smoother. We have to go over that red anyways. All right, let's get that red back in there again. Nice. All right, that looks good. Going back into that red-brown mixture. Just okay. Just working it out, working it in here. Rinsing out my brush. I may let that dry a little bit. I don't know. Let's get more. This paint that I got from Hobby Lobby is just a tad watery. It's not as thick as some of the other whites that I've had. So I can make that go into this. But I just wanted to have it look a little less flat. Okay. So, does anybody out there journal? I'd love to know, because I'm really enjoying this journaling that I've been doing. As you can see, I've been on that Take 5 challenge, and I'm enjoying it. It's giving me a different perspective on, instead of painting on canvases, I'm using mixed media on journal pages, and it has been very helpful in my creativity and expression. Alright, there we go. So that looks good. Alright, so the rest of these things have to be filled in, and I think what I want to do is I'm not going to let's see, I'm not going to I might paint these in, I'm not sure. I have to think about that a bit, because it's kind of hard to do this, you know. I mean, if you're painting, these can be very difficult to paint in the letters, so sometimes you need to get a paint pen. And I have several types of paint pens, and I think I might just use the paint pen, because it's just going to be too hard to paint these in. I mean, you can, but if you're like me and lines, it's very difficult sometimes to paint lines. And just make this easy on yourself. So, being that said, I'm just going to get my Posca pens and paint that in with that. I have several of those, and I think that they will work just fine. So that'll be our next step, is to put that in there. Put those in with the paint pen. Okay, so I have these Deco Color. They're kind of large, and it is acrylic paint. So I'm going to try to fill this in without using an actual paintbrush. And we'll see how it works. Now you're just going to have to be very, very careful when doing this. What's the matter, Sally? My little dog. She's like whimpering over here. Okay. Then I have a Posca pen that I'm just going to kind of come on over with that. Kind of just giving the edges of this. Kind of just coming through. Kind of outlining any area that needs a little bit more work. Because these Posca pens are actually really great for painting also. But I just didn't want to use all my Posca pen in order to color this in or paint it in. So I'm just kind of, doing the outline here to get this nice and clean. And if you feel that you want to paint, which might be actually a good idea, painting it in. This does seem to be a little awkward. Oh boy, okay. Let me see here. I do have a small brush that I might be able to do that. This one here is a liner. It's a 20/0. Let me just try this and see how it works. You have to kind of experiment a little bit to see what works best for you. I'm going to go into my black paint, and perhaps that just taking my time with it might be the best thing. You all right there, Sally girl? Huh? You all right? You're okay. You're okay. This might not work either. Oh. I do have another type of, you have to get really small because you're going to be in these areas that are tiny. I want a round brush. Here, let's try this one. This one is that number 2 flat. Just experiment to see which one works best for you. You want to be able to have enough paint on your brush to fill this all in. Turn your board around if you need to. Whatever helps you, you do it in painting. That's all. Down here like that. All right, so let's do this one. We're going to outline this with a Posca pen. Get a nice clean line here. Wood is kind of hard, so you have to be very careful because your lines will get a little distorted because you're going against grain. Okay. There. Okay, let's outline. Well, let's see here. Okay, I'm going to put my little liner brush in water here and get back into my black paint. So I'm going to just speed up here. And we'll say that would be the end after we get this done. And we'll see at the end of this. Okay. right, so we have it done. We have everything fixed. Everything is like lettered in. If you have any little spots that need a little work, feel free to do that. But if you use a pen and use paint, it kind of helps make the lettering look a little neater. It's hard. It isn't easy. So just take your time. It took me a while to get this in for you guys, and it looks pretty good from here. So hopefully you enjoyed this painting, and you'll try it. Give it a try. Remember that my patterns are on Patreon. They're for $1, and you can do this. And I think the easiest part here is the fish. But the lettering is always hard, so you just have to take your time. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. I will be glad to answer anything for you. And don't forget, Summer Vacation. I am plugging it, but it is a cute little book my daughter wrote, and I helped to illustrate. And I'm sure that your little child will love this, and besides, it goes for a good cause. So until next time, bye.